Robotics is basically a multidisciplinary subject, and I really request you all to be ready to break all the barriers of branches and come out of your comfort zone and learn all the domains of robotics and automation. At least give it a try and give your 100%. Actually, when we are going to start teaching robotics, it actually starts with a lot of mechanical engineering, which is actually involving a lot of mathematics as well, matrices, a little bit of partial differentiation, Laplace transformations, and then we move towards the electrical part. Electrical part will have these actuators which have motors and all. Then we have control. Again, this will be the electrical part, the controlling of the robots, open loop control, closed loop control, and all. Then we have this microcontroller part and the computer science part that will be involving the programming of the microcontroller. So robotics is basically quite multidisciplinary subject. So it will be very helpful to electrical and computer science people. But initially, to start with, I would just like to say that it will be a bit of mechanical and mathematics. So I request you to be patient, and it may seem that it is going a bit difficult initially because of lot of mathematics you have to do, but it is very important because whenever you think of a robot, you just imagine those robot toys, or nowadays we imagine about the drones and all, which is having some sensors and computer programming chips and all. But actually, when we talk about the industrial robots, then you get to know about the actual mechanical portion of the robots. So fine. So I'll be basically now starting about the robotics portion, and today we'll be dealing with this history of robots. Initially, we'll see the how the robotics have come along from the past, present, and future. So there is a lot of talk about robotics. This word robotics is used extensively, and whenever you look at TV, you look at newspapers, there is always something or other to do with robotics. Okay. Now it is very interesting to know that somebody uses the word robot, or when you read the word robot somewhere, what is that first comes to your mind? Basically, it depends on the perception of various other people. It depends, it varies from person to person. Somebody said that, okay, this is a robot and I work in robotics, and I'm interested in robotics, or I have made this robot. Actually, each of us have different perception, and some people might think that these are mechanical machines, okay, and some would think it is a companion or a friend, okay, and some would think that they are pets and toys, like this, as we can see here. These are the pets and toys. Some would even say that they are helpers, like this, and some might think that they are even dangerous machines. Maybe all of this would come to your mind, okay, but certainly something would come to your mind, right? And because there's a lot of exposure today nowadays about robotics. And it is very interesting to know that as the time has progressed, our concept of robotics have also moved in this direction actually. Okay. In 1960s, 70s, there were mechanical machines doing jobs in industries. So this was the past basically. In 1960s, we started with these industrial robots, and they were the mechanical machines doing jobs in industries. Then little bit more advanced, we have robots which are basically like friends and companions, and we have robots in other areas also. Social robots, friends, companions, pets, toys, helpers. May not be so much in India, but in foreign countries, helpers are already there. Okay, so rehabilitation helpers, they are already there in other countries. Then this is another one which is becoming very common, which is the dangerous machine. For example, automation, yeah, automatic weapons, drones, these are all robots and are dangerous machines. So depending on what you are thinking of robots, something will come to your mind. Okay, so now this business of robots have moved on from past, present, and future. And why this is important is the past, where it came from, or this, as you can see in this slide, these are the industrial robots which were over 1960s and 1970 robots. A lot of robots doing a particular task in the industry, like in automobile industry or electronic industry. So this is the past basically. So robots were essentially used to replace the human muscular power in industry. So basically, any machine we build, this is according to mechanical engineering also, any machine we build, we are building to facilitate the human beings, or to make the life of human beings easier. Now, this was the past basically. So what is the present? So this is the present. Amazon robot. So in Amazon robotics, you might have seen this video, I suppose. So I'll just like to play a video, and be patient to watch this video, so you'll get an idea of the present scenario of.
Attention, 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 attention.
Yeah, let me show you a day in the life of a robot. I'll give a play-by-play. It's about a 3-minute clip, and I'll narrate kind of fast-paced, but you'll get a sense for what all is going on, under the hood here. So how does it work? It starts with a collection of thousands of pods containing tens of thousands of inventory items, and a collection of pack workers on the side of the building, as you saw. And the whole process begins when Mrs. Smith goes to the website and orders red, green, and blue. And she says, submit order. Now our job becomes to find the pod with the red t-shirt that we want to use, match it up with the station, match it up with the robot. And then we hand out a mission to the robot. So we choose a robot and say, you're the guy, and we send it on a mission to go and fetch that pod. And we ask it to drive in Manhattan-type north, south, east, west trajectories, and to tunnel underneath the other pods as much as possible, leaving the highways clear for inventory traffic. When it finally gets to its destination, it actually does a corkscrew motion to lift the pod just a little bit off the ground so we can carry it. And then it'll actually step out onto the local street, and from here it's trying to make its way up to the front of the building where that highway is. So highway driving is really the process of getting on the highway, moving down to the queue, the target queue, and then moving into that queuing system. And there again, what we're trying to do is just make the work, so it's actually a lot easier when they move in real time to get across the highway. But you can see them drifting across the highway there. And we're just trying to arrive in the queue in time for the next pick. We don't want too many there, we don't want too few there. Here's an overhead view of the queuing that takes place or takes over at this point. Supporting the pick worker, they reach in, pick, scan, pack, and basically this is the effect if you're the pick worker. So they simply put out their hand and the product shows up. So we try to simplify their life and hide the technology.
He looks thrilled.
He's a all Kiva pick workers are happy pick workers. Here, you go back to the queue and you see behind the scenes, we've made her life incredibly easy, but we're actually rotating pods, bringing the next one in, and managing the whole on-deck process there. When they're done with the pod, of course, it now needs to return to storage. And so we think a little bit in reverse here and say, well, given what's left on this pod and what the current state of the warehouse is, we need to find a new spot. And it might be way in the back of the warehouse because there's nothing interesting left on this inventory pod. And so it leaves the queue and it crosses back over the highway and returns to the storage zone. And then it'll make its way, just like it did to the front of the building, it'll make its way to the back of the building. In this case, it looks like he's got a little bit of a swagger, having just completed the important red t-shirt pick. But he's headed for some remote parking spot in the back of the building. And when he gets there, he just uncorkscrews the pod back to the ground. And so very much the reverse of what we did to take the robot on the mission up. Now, the system says, great, thank you for that red t-shirt. Your next mission is to go charge yourself. And so we send it over to take a 5-minute drink off of the charger. And for him, he's like, great, next, I'm out. Somebody else takes over from there.
Wow.
So this is the present. So present is basically Amazon, and you might have seen this video. And in Amazon Robotics, there are robots basically which are used almost everywhere, right from material handling to literally everywhere, dispatching the objects and all. This actually shows that we are actually connected to robotics in almost every way. We might think that we have nothing to do with robotics, but and it is just a subject. Robotics is just some kind of subject somewhere. What you feel about after seeing this Amazon video, that today you like all the you are anyway connected to robotics in all means. You might be ordering these online retail services like Amazon, Flipkart, others, which are using these robotics facilities. All of you might have used Amazon and might have bought some products from whichever way. The material handling in this is automated, and the online it is completely automated actually, whether it is Amazon or Flipkart and others. So this is basically the future of the retail, and basically the future of robotics. And there is a lot of complicated mechanisms that are involved in designing this setup, and right from getting the requirement of the customer, then identifying the object, then material handling it, and then dispatching it. The whole process is automated, and nearly 3,000 robots are running parallelly, and lot of motion planning and material resource planning and material planning, delivery planning, and all these things are required. So we'll be dealing with this motion planning, path planning also. So literally there are 3,000 robots working simultaneously, and you want them to work fast also. And so and there should be no clashing between the robots. So lot of precise path planning should be done. So coming to the today's technology that are available, maybe AI, maybe data science and all, so we are actually able to do this. So this is the future of robotics, the social robots. Basically now moving right from industrial robot, then we have Amazon robots, then now the future is moving towards the humanoid robots, and which will be basically actually these are there in some of the foreign countries, and the concepts of social robots, right? So robots living in society, where rehabilitation, healthcare, hospitals, in airport, giving directions, etc., etc. Helpers, there are helpers also, there are teachers, and these are all there, and so in so many countries they are already there. And the future, so this is probably the direction which the robotics is going to go. Okay, so right from the industrial applications to online retail to social robots, where the robot come and live in society. So essential robotics is not only the question of looking at the kinematics, dynamics, controlling motion, planning, okay, and other aspects of behavior has also come inside, right? So what should the robot look like? Should the robot look like a human, or it should not look like a human? Should it behave like a human, or it should not behave like a human? And apart from engineers, we have people from social sciences also, people from humanities, people from psychology. Okay, so everybody is included in robotics today. So robotics have actually become a very, very large discipline by itself, and that is the direction in which it is going. A lot of interesting questions have come up which never actually existed before, but which are today. For example, when you think about the robot, then you think, what is the gender of the robot? Will it be a male? Will it be a female? Or will it be neutral? These questions did not make sense 20 years ago. But today it makes sense, because today if you are going to buy a robot, or a robot be there in the airport or in the hospital, then you should think that what should be the gender of that, okay? And this will come into your mind So these kinds of things make sense today, which 20 years back were not existing. So this is the progressing scenario of the robotics as a topic, and it is likely to go to the next 20 to 30 years at least, where we are going to automate a lot of services and industries.